Donald Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian imports has sent Canada's media and political elite into a full-blown meltdown. They cry that these tariffs will cripple our economy and devastate Canadian industries, which is likely true. But here's the reality. Canada has already been crippled, not by Trump, but by a decade of economic mismanagement, bloated government, and runaway taxation. It's pure hypocrisy to rage against Trump's tariffs while ignoring the fact that Canada imposes some of the world's highest tariffs on American goods. For instance, our supply management system slaps 200 to 300% tariffs on US dairy and agricultural products, driving up prices for Canadian consumers under the guise of protecting farmers. Now, is there valid arguments for supply management in Canada? Sure. However, if you support Canadian tariffs against America, you don't get to freak out when the same economic tactics are used against us. The truth is, Canada should be fearful of Trump's tariffs. They will push us off an economic cliff. But let's be clear. We are standing on the edge of that cliff because of the Canadian government's disastrous policies. Consider the numbers. The average Canadian family now pays more in taxes than on food, shelter, and clothing combined. Since 1961, taxes have risen by 2,705%, far outpacing inflation, housing, and wages. Carbon taxes are set to increase again in April, and yet not a single person in government can explain how this tax is fixing the environment. Canada is the only G7 nation that has not reduced its emissions despite being one of the few with a carbon tax. Meanwhile, Trudeau's government has ballooned the federal bureaucracy to a $69.5 billion annual expense, a 73% increase since 2016, with little to show for it. Federal employment has grown by 42%, while Canada's population has only grown by 14%. Had bureaucracy grown in proportion, we'd have 72,491 fewer federal employees today. And yet, as the Joker famously stated in The Dark Knight, nobody panics when things go according to plan, even if the plan is horrifying. For instance, Trudeau announces a 35% emissions cap on Canadian energy, which will gut our economy, and nobody panics, because it's all part of the plan. But when Orange Man threatens 25% tariffs, well then everyone loses their minds. Canada's economy is teetering on the edge of collapse not because of Trump, but because of a decade of reckless government spending, mismanagement, and central planning. If Trudeau's government had prioritized economic strength over ideological crusades, we wouldn't be so vulnerable in the first place. Canadians need to wake up. The most dangerous threat we are facing isn't Washington, it's Ottawa.